In this video, we will attempt to explain the plot and intentions of the FF7 R Trilogy. It will summarise exactly what happened in Remake and Rebirth before moving on to a detailed series of predictions for Part 3. I will provide a complete reading that explains pretty much all of the key mysteries of the R Trilogy project. This will weave together narrative elements, gameplay mechanics, developer intentions, and themes of the game into one complete, logical package where each element supports the other. I would like to give an initial spoiler warning. This video will contain spoilers for the original FF7, Traces of Two Pasts, FF7 Remake, and FF7 Rebirth. If you haven't played all of those titles, then I would not recommend that you continue with this video. If you haven't seen any of my previous videos, I would like to offer an additional warning. In solving 5 of the major mysteries of the Rebirth project, a key developer intention becomes apparent. That being one of the intentions of the new B-plot elements of the R Trilogy. The B-plot, which contains most of the major new elements, whispers, time travel, multiple dream worlds, empty materia, etc., overlaps the original story and serves multiple functions. One of those key functions is to allow us as an audience to re-experience the key emotions of FF7 that would otherwise be spoiled by knowing the plot of the game, either from playing the original or through cultural osmosis. If a sense of mystery dominated a sequence in the original game, it is mirrored in the B-plot at a similar place and time. If a major shock, surprise, or twist exists in the original story, a surrogate sequence now exists within the B-plot, allowing us to re-experience the key emotional beats of FF7, re-experiencing the game with fresh eyes. If this sounds like a highly plausible and credible intention of the developers, and my theories and predictions turn out to be correct, then I will be spoiling a major shock and twist at the very heart of this series. Most likely, the core concept of the Remake project's conception. If avoiding this spoiler is enough to make you opt out, but you have concerns that the new elements of the story are superfluous, random, purely for the sake of making changes, and could not be tied together in any meaningful way, I will offer my assurance that all the new additions and changes follow a strict internal logic for the sake of delivering a story through its mechanics that stays faithful to the original themes of FF7. You should probably stop watching now and save yourself for what I think will be an effective and satisfying finale. Let's quickly summarise the key theories I'm relying on to perform my reading of the whole story. Dream worlds and how the life stream functions. I believe that the worlds between worlds, or dream worlds, are an until recently dormant system that was used by Gaia to gradually construct and decide its own fate. Each possibility within this system had the potential to become the planet's material reality. Only one did, becoming the planet's chosen or ideal reality, or ideal dream of itself. This system has been reactivated at the end of FF7 Remake. Sephiroth's goal. Sephiroth's goal is to extend the lifespan of the planet. The language used is vague. A literal reading would be that he intends to simply change the course of the planet's destiny, forcing it to adopt a new path that he can direct indefinitely. A more metaphysical reading would be that he wants to change the very nature of reality to a merged world that exists indefinitely and where death is obsolete. I believe these are the two extremes of interpreting his goals. It may likely be one, the other, or something in between. The next 4 key theories are explored in greater detail in my 3 videos, linked in the description. The empty materia. The black materia was made from a white materia. They both have parity with one another. The black was made by pouring the Geese Dreams of Oblivion into it. The black materia's contents is hidden or exists between worlds, the same location as the dream worlds that we visit. The white materia also connects between these worlds. We can infer that the black and white materia are both powered by or connected to hopes and dreams. The empty materia will most likely connect to these dream worlds in Part 3. How Omni Sephiroth and Omni Aerith function. Omni Sephiroth and Omni Aerith both exist in the lifestream in the future. This is a pseudo-sequel. Both are connecting to and operating through past versions of themselves in the living world and alternate versions of themselves in the dream worlds. Sephiroth communicates through his mother's alien reunion ability, which should not be allowed inside the lifestream as it bends the rules. Cloud reinforces this as he has S-cells, and we see him dreamwalking and synergizing with Zack between worlds. Aerith operates through the white materia that connects to and through the lifestream. This next mystery is the big one. Understanding this effectively spoils all the major surprises of the whole R Trilogy and Part 3. If each of my explanations sounds plausible to you, and I'm hitting 4 for 4, then consider this your final warning. Now would be a good time to stop watching to avoid further spoilers. Sephiroth's battle plan. Sephiroth's goal is to change the future and to permanently extend the life of the planet. It is apparent that he needs Cloud's help, and by extension, the players, to achieve this. He has manipulated us into defying fate and wrenching open the planet's system for imagining its own future, the dream worlds. At the end of Rebirth, he manipulated us again into being strong enough to parry and deflect his blade, creating a variant world in which Aerith lives. This will align our goals with his in a bid to bring her back. There is evidence to suggest that only Cloud could achieve this, potentially being an agent of Gaia, touched by fate. Feeding the planet. In addition to getting Cloud and the player on side, Sephiroth also needs to convince the planet to play along with his plan. She decides her own fate and demonstrates veto power in the prime reality whenever an attempted change is made. By destroying dream worlds with Materia, the collected negative experiences of their inhabitants return to the lifestream, corrupting the whole, adding to the mass of black whispers. The goal being to tip the scales within the planet so that it chooses a new future, potentially free of death, in line with Sephiroth's goal. The game's core themes. Understanding the core themes of the R Trilogy will help keep us on the correct path when interpreting and predicting its story. The core themes are hopes and dreams, destiny, and accepting death. The devs have explained that the acceptance of death is the primary theme of the R Trilogy that we are moving towards. Destiny, hopes, and dreams are thematic motifs that appear throughout the story and are impossible to miss. These three primary themes all converge within the cosmic world-building of the R Trilogy. Nojima has explained that understanding Yogacara Buddhism and Carl Jung's collective unconscious can help us understand the story. Combine this with the Guy's description of the death of their star, which was subsumed by Gaia. We can infer that the world is constructed from collective memories, hopes, and dreams. The world exists as a part of its own life cycle, born from the dying dreams of another world. Those dreams are given new life and meaning as they are reborn through Gaia. Gaia itself is destined to die. Its dreams will again be reborn with new form in the next generation of planet. This is the life cycle occurring at the cosmic scale, meaning the lives of Gaia's inhabitants are a part of a greater whole, an endless cycle of death and rebirth where we may die but never truly end. Our actions, memories, hopes and dreams echo out into eternity, shaping destiny through causality or the butterfly effect, diminishing in volume over time down to the sound of a whisper. To defy destiny is to defy the whispers of all who preceded us, including those we love the most. This reading of the themes can be found at the cosmic, planetary, cultural, social, and individual levels of the story's world building. We will all die, but we live on through the next generation. Our matter, energy, and ideas reborn and given new meaning, but also enriching the next generation and all future progression. We never truly end. This is how we accept and find beauty in the transcendence of death. The story so far. Sephiroth was defeated by Cloud at the end of classic FF7. He experiences the inner workings of the lifestream and discovers that he can whisper back to and communicate with his past self and mother. He seeks to change the future and by extension his own fate. He has become aware of the planet's internal mechanism that it used to imagine its own existence. Sephiroth manipulates the party into defeating the Arbiter of Fate, causing this system to be opened. by allowing Cloud to strike him at the end of Remake, splitting off the first diverging dream world. In Rebirth, we experienced dream worlds, both positive and negative, some fearful and bitter regarding their fate, others accepting of it. We learn that the Gi created the black materia by pouring dreams of oblivion into a white materia, insinuating that these materia are powered by or connected to the dream worlds. Aerith's white materia was erased by the Whispers, as it most likely would have hampered Sephiroth's plans, as it connects all the dream worlds to the primary world. Aerith uses Cloud to smuggle the contents of the white materia back into the primary world. We see that Sephiroth has begun merging worlds using Materia in order to feed the planet with negative life stream, the goal being to change the planet's opinion on the nature of life and death and which future is correct. Sephiroth has subtly and gradually enhanced Cloud's strength and offered him his blessing, priming Cloud to parry Sephiroth's blade at the Forgotten Capital. His goal, to create a dream world in which Aerith still lives to gain leverage over both Cloud and the player. In the primary world, Jenova creates illusions of Aerith to further manipulate Cloud as we move into Part 3. Mapping the story with predictors. Before we dive into our predictions for Part 3, let's map out the key points that I will be using as a foundation for my predictions. FF7's classic story, which forms the A-plot of the R Trilogy. This forms the structural backbone of the game. Little to nothing of this will actually change. The B-plot, which contains most of the new story elements. The devs have expressed great interest in Cloud's stage of grief in classic FF7, Advent Children, and at the end of Rebirth. I believe we will explore and move through the 5 stages of grief in Part 3, which map very well onto the original story. These are denial, anger, negotiation, depression, and acceptance. The core themes of the game being hopes and dreams, destiny, accepting death, life and death. The sleep schedule of the original game. Any time in the story that a character will fall asleep. This will create an opportunity to switch from the lived world to the dream world where Aerith exists. Cait Sith's fortunes have proven to be accurate. He makes additional predictions during the interludes of Loveless. All of his fortunes are important guides for predicting the plot. The Loveless poem gives us a detailed description of the ending that we are moving towards. Sephiroth's battle plan. We must analyze Sephiroth's plan and all of the logical steps he must take to succeed. His goal is to create an alternate timeline by manipulating Cloud into providing assistance, isolating Cloud within that new timeline and preventing Tifa from interfering. He has attempted to assassinate her twice now. Meteor must impact to destroy the primary chosen dream reality, allowing Sephiroth to convince the planet to switch to the new open-ended reality he has created where he saves everyone forever. Let's do a checklist of the actions he has already taken and still needs to take in order to pull this off. Destroy the Arbiter of Fate. Open up the dream worlds. Kill Aerith. Create a dream world that contains Aerith. Nullify the white materia. This prevents Holy from being summoned and also prevents Aerith's dream worlds being connected to the primary world. Permanently extend the lifespan of Aerith's dream world. Neutralize Cloud, removing him from the primary world, getting him on side. Distract Rufus. The party can't escape on the High Wind. Summon Meteor. Destroy the Lifestream's memories of Nibel. Distract Rufus again to protect the barrier. Corrupt the Lifestream with Dark Whispers so it sides with him at the moment of judgment. Use Meteor to destroy Gaia's primary dream and switch to Sephiroth's new one.
ドキドキこうワクワク不安も感じてもらいながら、最終的にどう我々がそう答えを出すのかっていうところを、楽しんでもらう方が今回のリメイクのプロジェクトとしては確実にいい結末になるだろうっていうところで、非常にありがたいというか非常に嬉しいことなので、 どんどんやっていただきたいんですけど、僕自身はどんどんやっていただきたいんですけど、僕自身は
Part 1. Denial. I believe the opening of the game will aim to place Cloud, and by extension the player, into a state of denial. I see two major approaches to this. We could start by focusing on Cloud and his party, moving through Icicle Inn, snowboarding down the slopes, Cloud having a great time, the rest of the group looking on in horror. We will see a mixture of dreams where Cloud communicates with Aerith, he's meeting her in another world, and hallucinations induced by Jenova egging him on, creating a confusing push and pull. In this version, the true nature of Aerith's dream world would be obscured from the player, keeping them confused and in denial regarding her death. We may even see more of Zack initially, on a quest to meet the party, stowing away on the Highwind and finally getting a big reveal of what is going on as he meets up with Aerith instead of Cloud at the Northern Crater. Alternatively, a more impactful approach would be to cold open in the dream world with the player in control of Aerith. This would be a shock to the majority of players, even those who expect her to still play some small part in the story. It would no doubt cause immediate ripples in the community. This will position most players into a state of denial, believing that this is a resurrection game. The tactility of controlling her will make her feel very much alive and savable. We will agree with Cloud's delusion. She's alive, she's over there, I just played as her, she can be saved. A mixture of both of these approaches may also work. For now, I will run with the more direct variant. I find this approach slightly more interesting, though it could also lie somewhere between the two. I believe denial and confusion will still be the intended state of the player up until we hand over the black materia. Let's try to predict how this hypothetical scenario would play out. With Aerith guiding the party, it is unlikely that she would want to go anywhere near Sephiroth and the Northern Crater. A visible rift in the sky may have the whole party on edge. Aerith will be keeping the true state of things from them. Cloud will most likely be drawn north, separating from the party and going alone. This version of Cloud is most likely the robed version we've seen in Visions, heading north to the reunion. The party will want to head north in the tiny Bronco to pursue Cloud, stopping in the face of stormy weather. We will stay at Icicle Inn. Here, Aerith will learn about her father firsthand and see footage of him for the first time. An ideal opportunity for a tutorial section would be the encounter with Shinra troops and Elena before heading to the ski slopes. The party will no doubt be talking about what they plan to do once they have Cloud back and all of this trouble is over, painting a vision of an idealised future with everyone still together. Aerith will bite her lip. This will be bittersweet to her. We can then head down the slopes as a party, a little concerned for Cloud, but still able to enjoy skiing as Aerith. This sequence will finally make tonal sense, whiting out at the end of the ski slope. Alternatively, Aerith and the party never head north, in which case we go to sleep as her elsewhere and wake up as Cloud at Icicle Inn. In the first instance, we cut back to the real world. Cloud and the party flying the tiny Bronco into a storm. Cloud recklessly insisting we press on to the northern cave. We crash land on the Great Glacier, forced to press forward on foot. The party is miserable, grieving, cold. Cloud disconnected from the party, possibly unable to synergize with them in combat. That would be a nice way to express the state of the group through gameplay. Part 2. Anger. As we approach the cliffs of Gaia and the descent into the Northern Crater, this would be an opportune moment to explore the second stage of grief, anger. We will no doubt see an increase in visions from Sephiroth taunting Cloud and the player, questioning what really happened, testing your bonds with the party, inciting us to anger. Cloud will lash out at Sephiroth, the party, visions of Aerith, and himself. This will continue up until after the fight with Jenova Death. It will by this point have become apparent to Tifa that Cloud still thinks Aerith is alive. Sephiroth will reveal that Cloud isn't who he believes he is, and the full extent of his failure to save Aerith. This may inspire further anger until Cloud notices Tifa's reaction. This will be Cloud's breaking point. Cloud will hand over the black materia, the crater will collapse as the weapons begin to move, The party will escape with Shinra on the Highwind, leaving Cloud behind. If Aerith and her alternate party make it to the northern crater, they too will be forced to leave Cloud behind as Sephiroth needs his body. Zack may have stowed away on the Highwind and end up meeting the party here. Part 3. Bargaining, Negotiation. The third stage of grief is bargaining or negotiation. The party will escape Junon. Beef between Scarlet and Yuffie has been well established, so I predict that this chapter will focus primarily on Tifa and Yuffie. As a Wutaian noble, she may be scapegoated and placed in the execution chamber in place of Tifa. As a ninja, this makes her escape more plausible. Or, Yuffie may be instrumental in Tifa's escape. Alternatively, Yuffie may be paraded as a hostage and potential bargaining chip with Wutai. Negotiation. The slap fight with Scarlet may be unchanged, or we may perform it as Yuffie, only for Tifa to swoop in and end the fight. The party will most likely head to Wutai directly from Junon. We will focus in on the initial skirmishes over the Magnus Materia between Wutai and Shinra. Negotiation on the battlefield as battle lines are drawn up. If we locate Cloud's body and Tifa splits off from the party, the Fellowship will effectively be broken, possibly triggering Yuffie to steal the party's materia, resulting in further negotiation of objectives. Don Corneo will no doubt be trying to leverage the conflict to his favour in Wutai. His choice of wife, either Yuffie or Elena, would align him with either Shinra or Wutai. Negotiation. The Turks will most likely be spying in Wutai, pretending to be a group or family on vacation. We will negotiate with them to put a stop to the Don. Meanwhile, Cloud will travel to the edge of creation with Sephiroth. Here he will reveal that he used us to create an alternate world where Aerith still lives, that he now needs our help to permanently extend the life of that world. If we help him, he will take us there to be reunited. Negotiation with fate itself, an attempt to change both Aerith's fate, Sephiroth's fate, and the fate of the planet. Sephiroth will be playable again here. Cloud and the player will agree with this. We will align with and experience this stage of grief, negotiating with fate through storytelling and gameplay. I initially predicted that Cloud and Sephiroth would experience a falling out over Aerith possessing a white materia, putting his plan at risk, resulting in Sephiroth casting Cloud into the lifestream and cutting us off from that ideal future. This would get Cloud back into his comatose body and tie up with my expectations for the next stage, depression. However, my understanding has evolved thanks to someone else. In a Dashing Day video, Ultima7865 had a similar but more complete theory than mine. Sephiroth would definitely take Cloud all the way to that alternate world. Cloud would remain there in his delusion with no desire to leave. A master of his own illusory world. This being the reason that Cloud's Mako-poisoned body is in a coma in the first place. He's not there, he's in a dream world. This is Sephiroth's plan to neutralize Cloud and also save him as well. I feel dumb for not piecing this together myself, so credit where credit is due. If Zack didn't meet Aerith's party at the Northern Cave, he will most likely meet them at Junon. Aerith will travel aboard the Highwind. They will eventually find our Cloud inhabiting this world's body. Aerith may well attempt to convince Cloud that he needs to go back. In the primary world, Tifa will either fall into the lifestream or fall asleep and meet Cloud here. I will explain how she does this in the next section. The setup for this has been telegraphed and is very important. Tifa will also assist Aerith in negotiating with Cloud to pull him out of this world. When she is successful, I predict Sephiroth will go to war with the party in Aerith's world, possibly killing Cloud and Tifa there as punishment, and to prevent the two parties from coordinating between worlds. It is very possible that we see multiple, or all of the main party members in that world killed off, destroying any hope of the ideal world these characters described regarding their future and dreams. Part 4. Depression. I am unsure about the location of Fort Condor and Mount Corel within the story. The devs have suggested we may have some choice over the order in which we explore the world. This may affect some or all of the Magnus Materia questlines. I can see them playing out anywhere from the stage of negotiation through to acceptance, in their original order or reordered. In Intergrade Intermission, Lord Godo is revealed to be a drunkard who is currently in jail. That sounds like a man who has seen his dream for his nation die and is currently in a state of depression. Regarding the livestream sequence, there is a huge Chekhov's gun involving Tifa. In Traces of Two Pasts, a great deal of attention is drawn to Tifa's scar and her recovery involving highly experimental skin graft technology provided by Shinra R&D. Not suspicious at all. We also see her vision glitch, much like Cloud's during Aerith's death scene. Before the credits roll in Rebirth, we see a scene with the weapons fighting Dark Whispers in the livestream. In the background of this sequence, we can see Tifa's family home, the water tower, and the rope bridge. The Black Whispers are laying siege to the livestream's collective memory of Nibel and/or Cloud and Tifa's lives. The weapons were showing this to Tifa on her first visit. I believe the devs will follow through on this threat, and these memories within the livestream will have been destroyed, rewritten, or blocked off by the time Tifa brings Cloud back here in the prime reality. Meteor is in the sky. Weapons are on the rampage. The world fully at war. Cloud in a coma. The livestream corrupted by more and more Black Whispers. Cut off from the dream world with Aerith. That dream torn apart. The livestream memory of Nibel destroyed, with no path to restoring Cloud. All hope lost. Depression, depression, depression. The lowest possible moment. Part 5. Acceptance. But we know this story. It's time to turn things around. Tifa's experimental skin graft and her static vision at the Forgotten Capital imply that she has J cells. I bet it will be revealed earlier that her scar is perfectly healed and no longer visible due to J cell restoration. The scar was an illusion in Tifa's head to disrupt the party and make the player doubt her. I never doubted you, Tifa. Not even for a second. I believe it is a machination of fate that gave Tifa J cells. I doubt Sephiroth set them up. It results in her being a huge threat to his plans, making her the only person who could pull Cloud back from the dream world by dreamwalking there herself. This is why he made futile attempts to assassinate her twice in Rebirth. So, how will Cloud and Tifa restore their memories? The livestream transcends time. J cells are capable of transmitting and communicating through time once submerged in the livestream. It's how Sephiroth communes across time. Cloud and Tifa will likely view the Nibel incident through Zack's eyes. He has J cells. This is why Tifa's childhood memories had to be moved to earlier in the game. Neither her nor Cloud had J or S cells as children. We would be unable to view them this way. Tifa will guide Cloud back. He will regain trust in Tifa and himself and remember who he is. We will see the real Cloud. He will have a heart-to-heart with the team. I even predict that the name of his Punisher mode will change, hopefully to Defender or Bodyguard mode. His sword grip possibly more like Zack's than Sephiroth's now. We may now wrap up the submarine section and Rocket Town if they are still present. Cloud is restored to his true self. It's time to finish facing up to reality and move completely towards acceptance. In this section of the story, I believe we will see each major character story resolved with some form of acceptance, possibly related to the inheritance of a dream given new form through its new owner. This may also play into each character's level 4 limit break and/or ultimate weapon. Barrett's arc will most likely end in Corel, with him and the townspeople finally coming to terms with and accepting their past. It's possible that we saw the children of Corel inheriting their parents' prejudice towards Barrett in Rebirth, but we worked towards rectifying this. Catastrophe was downgraded to be Barrett's level 2 limit break in Remake. What will his new level 4 be called, and what will it tell us about him? Yuffie's father will move to accept the death of his dream for Wutai when he realises it has been reborn through Yuffie, who is fighting for and ready to wear the mantle of her generation's dream for their nation. Sid will realise his dream aboard the Shinra number 26. If his arc was that of a man who had already accepted the death of his dream, then this may show us that our dreams can be reborn again or returned to us in unexpected ways once we let go of them. Sometimes we are only free to notice new opportunities once we stop focusing on the past. Alternatively, we may see a man who swept his feelings under the rug and did not fully come to terms with the death of his dream. In a similar sense, he will realise that his dream was still out there, just in an unexpected form, born from unpredictable events. Tifa will either meet Zangan or find his grave. I believe we will likely get to duel him, allowing Tifa to demonstrate how she has adapted Zangan's style into one of her own, as stated in Traces of Two Pasts. Zangan's dream, reborn with new and greater form in a new generation, surpassing what came before. Overcoming this challenge will most likely be how she perfects her form and first executes Final Heaven. This quest might be optional. In classic FF7, during Feelings from the Heart of Every Place, Red meets with Bugenhagen one last time before he passes away. Red does not have the heart to share the truth of this with those around him, claiming Bugenhagen packed his bags for one last adventure. Red appears to be in the denial stage, unable to speak the truth of the situation. I do not expect this to change. Red already accepted the responsibility of understanding and protecting the planet, taking up his father's promise to aid the Gi, as well as his eventual role as Watcher of the Veil. I'm not sure what we will explore with Cait Sith and Reeve. It may intersect with Chadley and explore the transmission of knowledge and hopes in the connected digital age. I'm not sure that Vincent and Lucretia will fully move towards acceptance during this game. Sephiroth's defeat may aid them both. Kairi will no doubt inherit her grandmother's sense of communal justice, fusing it with her own belligerence, flair and ambition. Beck's boys will probably inherit Don Corneo's slum empire. I believe Johnny, Leslie, Madame M, Chocobo Billy, Chocobo Sam will likely all have their stories end in line with these themes. The Magnus Materia quest chain, if it's still important this time around, may bring our involvement in the war to an end. It will be time for the party to learn what exactly has been going on, what Sephiroth's true plan is, and everything Aerith has done and is still doing to stop him. Here, we will most likely head to Bone Village and go on a quest for the key to the Ancients. If we don't see Aerith's death and burial during the livestream sequence to recover Cloud, this will be the opportune moment to explore it at the Forgotten Capital. Let it breathe, and let us see our heroes finally able to mourn together as a complete group. We will learn that Sephiroth has doomed infinite worlds in order to corrupt and twist the livestream to align with him. Aerith is cultivating infinite positive worlds of acceptance as a counter. In the OG, Bugenhagen speculates that through the summoning of Holy, the planet will decide, an act of judgment in which all that is bad will disappear. The worlds of pessimism, measured against the worlds of optimism, to sway the planet's judgment. These worlds will reunite within the livestream as Holy and Meteor clash. Sephiroth has had more time to cultivate more worlds and more dark whispers. Will Aerith be able to do enough to stop him? This uncertainty should create a little dramatic tension. Diamond Weapon will attack, and we will head to Midgar to stop Hojo. We have to stop Hojo from overloading the Sister Ray, giving Sephiroth more power or blowing up the city. The party will split into at least 2 groups. I bet we will learn that there is some kind of master switch in Shinra Tower to shut him down. One party will head to confront him, the other will head to Shinra Tower as a backup plan. Cloud, Vincent, and Red all have a score to settle with Hojo. Barrett also promised he would put his fist through Hojo's face. Cait Sith, Yuffie, and Tifa will head to the Shinra Tower. Yuffie will have a desire to head to the tower in search of Sonon. Cait Sith and Sid know the facility. Yuffie and Tifa will settle their score with Scarlet, whilst fighting her, Heidegger, and the Proud Clod. Barrett might go to see Marlene in Sector 5. We might even cut to Aerith and Zack confronting Hojo in the Dream World. They may have to deal with him there as well, and give Aerith and Zack a chance to settle up with him. He may also be able to synergize between worlds, similar to Sephiroth Reborn, giving us a prelude of things to come. In my eyes, a logical opportunity to exploit would be for us to experience the Under the High Wind scene between 2 worlds. Give Aerith an opportunity to experience some much overdue romantic payoff. My instincts tell me that they will not pair her with Cloud. An interdimensional three-way might be a bit weird for such a romantically pure world. Zack and Aerith in one world, Cloud and Tifa in the other, sounds very satisfying to me. Devs might not go there due to the shipping wars, but to me it makes dramatic sense. So everyone is going to get laid. Legendary sexy materia unlocked. Time to head to the northern crater. I presume both parties in both worlds will head north. The main party will most likely split into 3 groups. I expect to tackle the descent much like Temple of the Ancients, splitting and diverging between 4 parties across 2 worlds. I would not be surprised if the Turks and 7th Infantry lend a helping hand here. I expect we will find an elite variant of the Gigi and Christopher, either here or unlocked in the combat sim. If they don't call it Black Star Gigi or make the sun on its forehead black, I will be very disappointed. This will tie in closely with the game's themes and references. Those who understand the reference will know why I hope for this. I will explore this during my thematic evaluation. At the bottom of the northern cave, we carry Aerith's dream of saving the planet and protecting her friends with us, literally holding it in our hands. It echoes through our actions as we head down to confront Sephiroth.
Shall we mosey on over?
Let's.
Jenova has been set up throughout the R Trilogy and Ever Crisis to be an ever-present threat and master manipulator. I would not be surprised to learn that the idea for the Jenova project came to Professors Gast and Hojo in their dreams, implying that she inspired Sephiroth's birth and planned to use him to infiltrate the Lifestream as a Plan B from before his conception. I believe the final confrontation will again likely be a confluence of worlds. We will see everything from the final encounter of FF7 and more. Zack and Aerith will participate in bringing down Sephiroth. Some stuff may happen here that might make some people roll their eyes, but I think there is a strong chance that the devs will swing for the fences with fan service here. There may be many Sephiroths, he may drag in corrupted variants of our heroes. The more flexible rules of moving characters through the dream worlds means that just about anyone could show up here. I would not be surprised if each member of the team has at least one person from their life show up to back them here. This is a story of how we never truly die and inherit each other's legacies. We may get a literal representation of these people still being here with us. Avalanche, Bugenhagen, Seto, Dine, Angeal, Ilfana. Heck, Roach could show up, dragged into a world where Cloud has died, bringing the Buster Sword from his resting place, carrying his legacy. I would not be surprised if we see a fight with 3 or 4 Buster Swords in it. That might be a bit much though. We may see some improvements to Supernova. There are 2 problems with the original version of it. I always had to view it as an abstraction or metaphor for Sephiroth's power, as he destroys the fucking sun and melts the planet. It should be game over. The dream worlds could be used to make this ability more literal. He could open a portal which we gaze through, witnessing Supernova in all its glory. First, they can fix the design of the planets, rather than using our real-life solar system. They could rename the planets after various summons. Then, we cut in close to a bag of chips, with a unique stamp variant on it. Kyrie is in Midgar, munching away. She turns around, horror on her face as the planet is consumed by supernova. A burst of energy streams through the portal, striking our party. Now it makes sense, and would be quite funny. So, Safer Sephiroth is defeated, and we appear to have stopped him from merging more worlds. The confluence of worlds will begin to end. As Kate Sith predicted in Loveless, we will get our tearful farewell. This scene will no doubt be very similar to Final Fantasy X, as we say farewell to Aerith, Zack, and any more of our friends who may be here. It's not completely over. On to our final internal battle, and to the settling of everything. I don't know how we can destroy Jenova, but to defeat Sephiroth, I think we have to do something different here to break the cycle. How do we stop him from coming back again? Cloud will have diverged fate on 3 occasions by this point in the story with a swing of his blade. What if, this time, he changes fate by not swinging it? What if he pulls the final punch of Omnislash, sparing Sephiroth? The planet decides her own fate, so he may still succumb to his wounds in this world. But he will see Cloud, his peer, pulling his punch. This will create dream worlds in which Sephiroth survived. Will this redeem him? Will he act in these worlds to help Aerith tip the scales of judgment? Escaping in the high wind, we will most likely have one final act to perform. Praying again to Holy. This is happening. Take me to the bookies. I'm betting the farm on this. We're going to cradle our controllers and pray Aerith away. At least the hand posture makes sense. It's no God of War 3 eye gouge, but it'll be fine. We will pray with Holy in hand that all of these infinite worlds containing Aerith and our friends will return to the live stream, sacrificing the possibility of a living world where we could all be together. Infinite worlds of infinite people willingly accepting their fate and sacrificing their dreams to save the planet. Like a huge multiversal Genki Dama, Sephiroth may also sacrifice his dreams and lend his aid. Holy will collide with Materia. Infinite remaining worlds of optimism and pessimism will pour into the live stream in this final moment of judgment. The white materia fades out, our sacrifice and our acceptance of the necessity of death complete. The live stream surges up to meet Materia. We see all our friends. I expect we will see the same summary of the game's cutscenes that we got in Remake and Rebirth. I hope these extend into a long series of silent epilogues. I hope we see the characters living out their dreams, especially any they discuss directly with Aerith, or living out any dreams she may have had. Barrett raising Marlene, possibly farming in Gongaga, sobbing like a baby as she grows up and leaves home. Red exploring the wilds, possibly meeting his baby mama. Yuffie forming the YRP, getting older, being voted into office, groaning buried under a mountain of paperwork. Kate Sith entertaining families, Sid sailing the skies, Vincent lurking in the background of them all. Cloud and Tifa, perhaps with child, maybe named Aerith. Let's see them all get old. Then let's pull in on a storeroom, keepsakes and artifacts from their travels, old weapons, the Buster Sword, next to a single materia with a gentle white glow. Perhaps a single dream survived the judgment. Perhaps they all got to experience full lives together. We will never know. 500 years later, we see Red and his cubs visit Midgar. There are still people around, living in greater harmony with their world. My predictions for the story are based upon the huge amounts of information we find across the FF7 and Remake anthologies, statements from the dev teams, and guidance from the core themes of the games. This is my best logical guess at what will happen, with a little creative license and wishful thinking of my own. There is one more major detail I have noticed yet to add, but if you bypassed all of my potential spoiler warnings, based on this being a theory, but are still a little bummed out that I might be onto something, that I might have put together some highly likely events, well, this is the final off-ramp for you. You can walk away now and tell yourself it's just a series of theories weaved together by a madman. Nothing is certain, anything could still happen, I could be in for very different surprises. Walk away and forget everything I said. There is one more realization I arrived at which I believe drastically increases the chances of the majority of my predictions being true. Final warning. Get out now and you can pretend it was all a Mako-induced dream. Okay, are they gone? Let's talk about the game's structure. I'll quickly summarise all the events of the game's B-plot again from start to finish, including my predictions. Sephiroth was defeated by Cloud at the end of classic FF7. He whispers back through time, via reunion, to change his and the planet's destiny. He manipulates the party into breaching fate as we leave Midgar, broadening the scope of the game. We learn about Sephiroth's plan to extend the planet's life at the Temple of the Ancients, along with the basic mechanics of how the dream worlds work. Aerith smuggles the white materia to Cloud as a counter to Sephiroth's plan. We are tricked into parrying his blade and shocked to see Aerith both die and not die. Sephiroth will reveal that we failed to save her. She really is dead. If we give in to his demands, she may live again through the reunion of worlds. We will say yes to this. Cloud will be trapped in a dream. We will not trust that Tifa is who she says she is. The lifestream memories will be destroyed or warped. All hope will feel lost and nothing as it seems, but through a twist of fate, Tifa will be able to bring us back. Cloud may put Sephiroth to rest in a final duel by refusing to kill him. Aerith, through an act of sacrifice, will rally infinite worlds of hope and enter the lifestream. The infinite worlds will pour into the lifestream in a final act of judgment to decide the planet's fate. Does this B-plot sound familiar to you? It should. The B-plot of the R Trilogy is the A-plot, reimagined and layered on top of itself. Sephiroth is defeated by Cloud before the game starts, at the end of classic FF7. He reaches out from beyond the grave to manipulate the party into performing tasks, dooming the planet's power to be usurped by him, this time for eternity, through the summoning of Materia and an act of reunion, the reunion of worlds. Aerith is killed trying to stop him, but sets into motion a counterplan, the empty Materia. The party confronts Sephiroth and it is revealed that Cloud is living a lie. Aerith is dead. Cloud aids Sephiroth's plan, preventing the planet's death. The world falls into chaos. We doubt the provenance of a member of our party. Tifa takes Cloud back to his past. He learns and accepts the truth. Tifa is Tifa, Cloud is Cloud, Aerith is dead. We learn about Omni Aerith's counterplan. Infinite positive dreams. We confront Omni Sephiroth. Aerith acts from within the lifestream to counter Materia, returning to the lifestream for judgment. It is the same story told again on top of itself, roughly in sync with the beats of the original game. The game's secret structure, hiding in plain sight. It is used as a vehicle to deliver new information or to allow us to re-experience key emotions from the original game that will have been spoiled for us as prior knowledge, either because we played the classic or heard all about it. Throughout the game, we see these new elements and changes within the main story. Let's explore some of them. These surrogate emotions appear as major changes and new events. At the beginning of a story, everything is a mystery to the reader. Sephiroth and the Whispers appear right away, revealing to the player that more is going on this time around. New elements at the start of a story to match the mysteries of a new beginning. At the end of Remake, the scale of the story and the world are revealed to be larger. This mirrors the classic game where the story and scope of the world both expand at this point. The Midgar Soma is used to effectively establish Sephiroth's threat in the original game. Here it demonstrates that the party and Cloud are much stronger this time round. Jenova fills in Sephiroth's role of intrigue and mystique. She is presented to be more like Jaws, hiding beneath the surface of the entire story. Details seeded regarding her in Queen's Blood, the Cetra and human conflict, the Village of the Gi, and Ever Crisis. She is ever present in the background as a silent manipulator. Sleep Easy's excellent video on this subject highlights this motif used in her boss theme. The Village of the Gi offers new insight into the mechanical function of the planet, at roughly the same point in the story that we originally learned the fundamentals of planetology. At the Forgotten Capital, we received a huge shock, much like in the original. Is Aerith dead or alive? On a meta level, some people experienced a death here, the death of FF7. I was angry for days, thinking that they had killed my favourite game, that they had fucked it up, mirroring Aerith's death in the original. This feeling of shock and confusion will continue into the opening of Part 3. At the Northern Crater, Cloud will find that he's been living a lie. After being misled to believe that we saved Aerith in some capacity, we will find that we did in fact fail. We will submit to Sephiroth's will. Within the livestream, we will again be wondering how we can restore our faith in Cloud and Tifa, after the livestream memory has been destroyed. Returning to the City of the Ancients, we will again learn what is going on within the new story elements. During the big finale, we will now no doubt experience new spectacle to reflect the excitement and majesty of Safer Sephiroth and Supernova. The ending. Aerith will again join the livestream in a final tense moment of planetary judgment where the outcome is uncertain. Each emotional beat of the original game can be accounted for within this new B-plot. It is a vehicle for us to relive the experience of playing the original FF7 whilst playing through a remake of its story. I think this is a pretty likely developer intention for the new B-plot within the R series. I predict that the game will most likely be called Returns or Resurrection. Returns would most accurately describe how the game will likely conclude. Resurrection, on the other hand, would describe what Sephiroth is attempting to do, and would effectively mislead a large proportion of the audience into believing that we are here to resurrect Aerith, putting them on the first step of denial on their journey to acceptance before the game has even begun. Can I just pause a moment to give Cisne, Barrett and Red credit when they discuss Cosmo Canyon being a place to discuss and learn about the planet? At this point in the story, we learn about Red 13's backstory, the basics of planetology. The Gi are alien. They have communed with Jenova, most likely influenced by her. The Gi forged the black materia by pouring dreams of oblivion into it. The black materia was forged from white, which informs us about the clear materia. Aliens can't return to the planet, which helps us understand Sephiroth's abilities. The planet is subject to its own cycle of death and rebirth, revealing the game's core themes. The livestream doesn't distinguish between memories and dreams. Sorrow is not a burden, it's another of the planet's gifts. Almost everything we need to know to understand the game can be learned in Cosmo Canyon. No cap. The R Trilogy is a pretty faithful remake of FF7. It has an A-plot that acts as the remake. Layered on top of this is the B-plot, which is a reimagining of the original story, with all new elements used as a vehicle to deliver the same key emotional beats as the original game. This is delivered with a twist within this B-plot. We will mislead ourselves into believing we are on a path to save or resurrect Aerith. Eventually, we will reject this, as we go on a ludo-narrative journey with Cloud, travelling through the stages of grief, as we move fully and completely towards the acceptance of death. This is currently my best attempt at understanding the current story and using that as a basis for predicting where it is going, answering most of the big questions and mysteries that the game offers us, and adhering to a reasonably strict internal logic. I offer this up as a blueprint for others to bounce their own theories off of, or make adjustments to what I offer here. Is this structure completely incorrect? Are there some useful insights that act as a good basis to hone in on something more likely? Or do you think I'm miles off and we need to start from scratch? Is there any evidence I have missed that directly contradicts this theory and structure? Or is there anything I've missed that supports it even more? My exploration of the possible opening of Part 3 might warrant further exploration as to what is more likely, what is more feasible. Could exploring it in more detail reveal more concrete possibilities? My ending might have a hole in it. Sephiroth being able to die only works if he doesn't already have a controlling share of the livestream. That might work with the tension being built towards the end of it. It might not. I don't fully explain exactly how the confluence of worlds works or occurs. Also, Jenova likely plays a larger part in the game's ending than I describe here. If its accuracy is high, it may bring us closer to understanding the text as a whole. Then perhaps it will be useful for you to better explore the themes and greater meaning hidden within FF7. I will be working towards my own thematic analysis that I should be releasing soon. Thank you for watching, and if you want to hear more like this, or receive notification of my final thematic analysis, then please like and subscribe.